have with me here a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this piece here measures 14 by 9.5 centimeters, and my greeting comes from Up and Away stamp set, and I'm going to stamp this in the bottom center of my cardstock using some black Memento ink. Next, I've got one of these old stamp cases that used to house our wood mount stamp sets, and I've got some soft sky re-inker, and I'm just going to place about 2 or 3 drops randomly inside my stamp case here. And then I also have approximately about 6 marbles, which I'm just going to place in there as well. And I'm just going to move my container, tilt it from side to side, making sure those marbles is picking up all that ink to get good coverage of ink onto my marbles there. So do this until you're happy with the amount of ink that's on your marbles, and then once you're done with that, I've just got some temporal adhesive which I'm going to place on the back of my Whisper White cardstock that we had previously put my greeting on, and making sure that that's facing the right way, and put that on the lid of my container. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over my container and then tilt it back and forth, allowing the color that's on the marbles to go all across my cardstock here. So you keep going until you are happy with the coverage that's on your cardstock. Once you're happy with that coverage, simply open the lid and take that off very carefully not to get ink on your fingers, and you can see what that looks like. So I've washed out my container, and this time, and I've cleaned off my marbles as well, and this time I'm going to be placing a couple of drops of Versamark re-inker into my container here. And once again, I'm going to place all 6 of my marbles, so making sure that these have also been cleaned, into my container, and tilting that back and forth, making sure that my marbles are now being covered in Versamark ink. Once you're happy with the coverage that's there, open up your lid and place your cardstock up in the lid again this time. Close the lid and flip it upside down and tilt it side to side, allowing that Versamark ink to get all over that cardstock. Once you're happy with the coverage that you got, simply flip your container over and carefully remove your cardstock, and you can see a nice little shimmer as you remove that there. Next, very carefully, we're going to apply clear embossing powder to the whole front of our cardstock here to cover in all that Versamark ink that we have there. And then we're going to heat set that using our heat tool. I'm inking up the large balloon image from the Up and Away stamp set in real red classic ink and stamping that onto a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock. I'm doing the same thing again with my small balloon image from the same stamp set and inking that up in Peekaboo Peach. I'm then placing my framelit dies, my coordinating framelit dies around it to cut these out through my Big Shot machine. At the same time, I've got a scrap piece here of soft sky cardstock, and I'm going to be cutting some random clouds as well. With my soft sky classic ink and a sponge dauber, I'm applying some shading to the bottom part of my clouds using a sponging technique. So just lightly brushing around the edges of all 3 of my cloud images. To finish my card and start assembling it, I am placing my Whisper White card piece matching that onto a piece of 14.5 by 10 centimeter piece of soft sky cardstock, leaving equal borders around all 4 sides. I'm placing my die cut images roughly around my card front for placement to see where I like them to sit. And then once I'm happy with where they are sitting, I'm just going to apply liquid glue behind my clouds and pop up my balloons using Stampin' Dimensionals. And to finish it off, I'm adhering my matted card front to a thick piece of Whisper White cardstock. For more video tutorials, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel.